So I'm not sure where I got bumped off, but so we're going to look at Teams now, right? Teams is an application. Part of the application is just like Zoom. You have meetings, but we're going to be looking at the other things that are encompassing in Teams. Okay, so think about when you're in an office. Okay, what is a team? What's a group of people that you may work with in your office?
My board.
Okay, the board, right? The board has a group of people. On your board, you need to communicate, right? You're going to send messages back and forth. You want to share documents. You want to have things that only the people on the board have access to, right? Nobody else should be able to get documents that are for the board, only the board, right? In the accounting department, right? Can any old employee get access to the finances?
No.
Right? No, it's about protection. So within the team, you can only get what's in your team, right? What team you're invited to, okay? So it's going to jump into the Teams application. So again, all this little icon you'll click on your desktop, just like you would open up Word or PowerPoint. You're going to open up Teams. I have it down on the bottom of my screen. This little T is Teams application. And I got to share the screen first. All right, share it. Okay. All right, so I clicked on the Teams on the bottom of my screen, and this opens up the Teams application. Okay, so let me show you what the different aspects of what Teams is here. So the first thing you want to look at is along the left side. Okay, you have things along the left here. It starts with activities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, activities along the left. Activity just shows you what's going on within the company or within your teams. You're going to see notes on what's happening. When there was meetings, who added comments. So this might be across multiple teams that you're in. Whatever you're in, you're going to see some little comments going on. So it's a quick way for you to keep up to date on what's happening within your contacts or within your company. Okay, you have chat, the next button down. Okay, so think about chat is your text messaging, right? Just like you have on your phone, it works the same way, right? You can chat with someone, anyone within the company, or multiple people. Okay, and you'll see here all the chat messages and stuff are here along the sides. I'm going to click on one of these. See if we had some posts here. So I clicked on this one here. It's Frank and Robert meeting, and along here you see chat. So any chat messages that go on here, you would see a list of everything that happened within that contact. Okay, so there's sometimes individual meetings you'll see there. Some are chats between a specific person. Up at the top, Scott Bloom, somebody on my team. Okay, and you'll see here's a post. You got memes, you can pictures, share all types of things within your chat. And there's some things going across the top here. We're going to show you that in just a minute. The next tab down is Teams. Right, Teams is the main thing of Teams, right? This is what it's named for. All your different teams and groups, okay? I have different teams I have a training team. I have IMCP is a Microsoft Partner Group. It's something I'm on the board of this organization. So we have a team set up for that, okay? That's the leadership team. Brain Tumor is a funny team. It's a team with my son actually does comedy. TechWorks is a partner I work with. We have another grouping, another team for that. So all the different groups and people that I work with, all our communications are here in one place.
Robert, there was a question from Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Only you and the person in the chat can see that content, correct?
Yes. So going back to the chat group here. So when you have a chat, it's just like text messaging on your phone, right? You have a text between you and Joe. Just you and Joe see that text. Okay. But the difference is here with this, it is saved within the company. So the company does have control, company does have access. They could, if they wanted to search through things and look at things, they could see your messaging, right? Because it does keep it within the team and it's owned by the company. Or in your case, if it's a personal account or whatever it is, it's your account and nobody else would have access to it. But within a company account, just like your email, they ultimately would have the rights or access to it if the admin, if the people wanted to see it, they could see it.
And Robert, there was another question. The question was, this is very much like Quip, correct? So if you
Right.
have experience with Quip, this should be intuitive.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
She said, let me see, this was from Jessica. She said, this is very much like Quip, right?
I'm not sure of that product. So I can't say that 100%. I'm not
Okay.
sure of that.
No problem.
All right. So, all right. So let me flip back over to the teams and the groups here. Okay.
Robert, one more question really quick. Patrice, hello, Patrice said her question is this system for internal company use only, or is this meant to be used for external sharing as well?
So that's a good question. So that's it's meant for both, but the companies can control it. So a company can make it only for internal, or they can allow you to invite people to your team. So you can have external people, or it can be excluded. That's up to the company and the administrators to decide if they want to allow access to that. Okay. In Maria's case with her board of directors, they're people in different companies. So if you set it up there, you would allow access to people because you would want these different people from different companies to have access, again, just to that team that you set up for the, for the board. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to click on one of the teams here I have set up here. Okay. Called the IMCP team. This is a board of a, this is the Microsoft Partner Association, right? I'm the president of that. So we have a group set up here for the Long Island chapter. Okay, you see when I click on IAMCP Long Island, you see when I click on it, it opens up some additional, they call channels. Okay, so we can, so not only do I have a team with information on it, but each channel could be a different discussion, right? So here's some general tab gets set up for every channel has a general tab. That's what you start with. And in general, this is all just general communication stuff going on here, okay? So I can scroll through and see here's all of our chat messages, documents that were shared. Here's a Word document that was posted into the chat, okay? A logo, different notes, communications going on here. So you see here under general, I have posts. Okay, so these are all the posts. These are just like your chat, your messages, your text messaging. Okay, when you want to send a new message, okay, down at the bottom is where you would enter it, start a new conversation. You could also reply to any messages specifically. So you can, so you get the different topics can stay together. So up here, I'll just click on reply, and you'll see it opens up the full messaging window for the reply, or again, I can start a new conversation here at the bottom, okay? So I'm down at the bottom, new conversation, and if you notice all these little icons below it, there's lots of different things you can do.
There was a question from Olga. Hello, Olga. If I need to have a video conference with a client, give me 1 second, let me open that up. Is it better to use Zoom or Microsoft Teams? What is the main difference between the two? Thank you. Robert, were you able to hear that? Uh-oh.
I think he's frozen again.
I think so. Are you back, Robert?
Robert doesn't like us tonight.
No, I think he loves us, but I think that we're having a problem because I don't think Teams and Zoom are playing nicely together.
They're not good match, huh?
They're not a good match because you know what? They're trying to steal ownership from each other.
Aw.
That's all. And you know what, guys? This is the reality of what could happen during any type of a social interaction online. So we have to get comfortable with this. And if you're kicked off, in most cases, what we've noticed with Zoom especially is it'll bring you right back, and the same thing with Microsoft Teams. Let's see.
I'm just wondering if Robert knows that he's frozen.
He does. I've been texting him. I have an open text communication with him just to make sure that everything is good.
Can anyone hear me?
Hey, green screen, what's going on?
Is this for everyone? Is this a consumer product, or is this something for the companies to purchase that employees would use in the
Well,
workplace?
I can speak to that because we have both. And so I had no idea that when we bought Office 365, not just for my son, he has 365 on his computer, but the business one, we have so many different, I guess, things that we have access to. So for example, Teams is one of them. And it comes with it. It's not like you have to buy it separately. The other one was Microsoft Sway, where it helps you create almost like PowerPoints, but they're much more beautiful and elegant, and just there's so many different designs that you can utilize. So you can have it either way. If you have Microsoft Office 365, this comes with it.
As a graphic designer by trade,
Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe the only one who's going to ask this question, and it's not meant to hurt that guy's feelings when he comes back. But why is it that the software aesthetics, such as Teams, has to look so clinical? Can't they use bright colors and interesting graphics to liven it up and make it more appealing and attractive?
You know what, green screen, I have to tell you something. Their Microsoft Word and everything else is exactly the same. It's the same thing with Outlook. Outlook is not gorgeous or anything. And considering they use those beautiful 4 colors to describe their logo, you'd think that they would use more of that. Unfortunately, they don't. That's a Microsoft thing. I don't think that anybody else can answer that.
Does everyone feel that way? It just looks clinical.
It is bland. All right, let's see where.
Thank you.
Of course.
Briefly, I think it's
So now Olga's question about having a video conference with a client, it depends on what they're more comfortable with, Zoom or Microsoft Teams. I've actually now had the opportunity to use both of them. I will say that they both have their benefits. What I love about Teams is that you get to save all the different chats separately if you chose to. So let's say you spoke with 2 or 3 different people from the same company, you could save those as separate chats. That appealed to me a great deal.
And basically, the client must have Microsoft 365.
I believe they do. That's a Robert question. We can ask him when he's back on. But I know that Robert and I got on a call the other day, and it was actually through Microsoft Teams, and it was fantastic. I actually taught a class for the PMI Institute of Long Island, and that was done through Teams as well. And I was really impressed with the great things that it had to offer. So, you know, that's a good thing too. I think that what it has to be is, Robert, you're back.
I'm back.
Okay.
So what's happening, and I'll try not to click on any links now, seeing it.
We were preparing a sing-along in your absence.
Oh, thank you. We should have that. We'll have that queued up. So, both applications, Teams and Zoom, are using the camera, and they're also using certain other protocols, right? That as the way they're calling out and sharing. So we're doing something that's using both applications are using some of the same tools. So when you click on a link here, it's kicking me out of Zoom, because you really shouldn't be running both applications really and running 2 meetings at the same time. They're tying into video and using the web. So it's again, normally you wouldn't do that. You'd be using one or the other.
You see, I was right. I was saying they were fighting for ownership.
Yep, that's it, exactly it. So yeah, because Zoom is being accessed on the web, and when some of the links, when I clicked on a link for the web, it's bumping the Zoom meeting out. So
Okay.
all right. So like I said, it's not a normal thing that happens with it. All right. So the other thing that becomes just a little side note is we talked about kind of some of the issues around using Teams, and the difference between Zoom. See, when you're on Zoom, everybody clicked on a link right? You clicked on a link, you put in the password, and you're in Zoom, right? It's just it's a public access, right? Everybody can, with the link, can get in there. With Teams, when you're in the, not just when you can set up a regular meeting, just like Zoom, and anybody can access it. But when you're tied into your messaging and things like that, you're logged in, you're authenticated, you're a specific person, right? And it's all there's much more security built around it because only you are allowed to get in and get access to those documents and things. So,
Robert, there was a question in your absence, and that question was, do both parties, if they're having a conversation, or if, let's say, a client decides to set up a meeting of some sort, do they both need to have Microsoft 365 and Teams to do so?
no, you don't. The one person needs to have Teams, and then you can invite in anybody you want into the Teams, right? Like I said earlier, there could be some restrictions put on by your company that could say you're not allowed to invite outside people. But if you're allowed by your company, you're allowed to. So typically by default, you can. But, and to a general meeting, just like a Zoom meeting, you can invite anyone. But to a private meeting, into one of your channels, into the board, okay? If somebody's not on the board, they can't get into the board meeting, right? It's restricted to not licensed users, but authenticated and specific invited users. And I'll show you on Teams here where we can go to that. All right. All right. All right. So do you see my team screen up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So before we get over to the meeting, let me just focus on these things now. So you saw that we have all the chat messages going on here, okay?
Mhm.
If you noticed up here, I showed that there was a Word document that was shared here.
Yes.
That was Excel. Okay, so you saw it up the top here where it says on the general tab here, I have posts. The next tab over, it says files. If I click on files, I see all the files that this team has. Okay, and this IMCP, this Word document, if you noticed in the posts, this document was shared here somewhere. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, when I shared this document here, it automatically put it in the filing cabinet, right? I didn't have to save it there special. So, you know, a week later, when you go to look for that document that shared with the team, I don't have to go scrolling through all the messages to try to find it. I can go right to the files and it's going to be filed away automatically for me to find. So very quickly, files, my document is there. Okay. Right, and I can click on it and open up the document from here. Okay. So now this document that is opened up here now, also everybody in the team has access to this document now. Okay. I'm going to see if I can access it from my phone here while we're looking at this here.
Diane asked if you can please explain what the OneDrive is.
Sure. So OneDrive is where you store your documents. Okay, it's stored online. It's what they call the cloud, right? So where this is, they call the Microsoft Cloud, they give it 3 different names, basically. OneDrive is your cloud. It's where your documents are. So if you've ever worked in an office and you had a folder, right? In my office, I have the Robert folder that's on my network. It's on the server, okay? That is just like the Robert folder is your OneDrive, right? That's your personal drive where you would save your documents, okay? We'll show you in a minute how to access OneDrive.
Cindy asked, in your office, if all your docs are on the C drive, you have to transfer them to the OneDrive?
Yes and no. We'll take a note. We'll get that. We'll hit that in just a minute. We'll get into OneDrive. OneDrive is a big component of it. So as I was saying, it's OneDrive is your personal drive. Then they have things that are shared. The shared things they call SharePoint. Right? It's shared, the place that where you share documents. That's saved there. Right? Since we're in a team, this part where this document, this Word document was saved in Teams, which is the same as SharePoint. They're interchangeable kind of names, but it's the cloud. The whole idea is really it's in the cloud. Exactly where it is or what it's called.
Oh, did we lose him again?
I don't know.
Cue up the music.
Oh boy.
He's in the cloud.
He's in the cloud.
Can I ask you a question? I can't type for some reason. It's not letting me type my question.
Okay.
When you do this Teams,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually do videos like.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's actually what I had done. I had taught a networking class, and it was through Teams, and that was exactly what had happened. And so what was different was that here it shows all the people, or it shows their names. What I noticed on Teams was that it showed me as the presenter, and underneath in tiny little circles, it would have the initials of all of the participants. I don't know if you can change it. I would assume there is a way to change it where you could see all the people. But that's definitely a Robert question. But yes, you could definitely see people.
Okay. And that's as long as they have a camera. If they
Yep.
don't have cameras, then, like in my office, we don't have cameras on any of the desktops.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to do this.
I think
makes
you could
sense.
still log in. I think you could still log in. Like some people are taking this on their iPhone.
Right.
So, and maybe they're driving or maybe they have it on mute. So I would assume that you probably can. It's a pretty cool thing, actually.
Pretty versatile.
It's very versatile. I love the fact that you could, again, save documents, folders, etc. That's a big part.
Yeah.
Conversations, that's even better. Being able
Yes.
to save conversations, that's fantastic.
Maria, it's Brian.
Hey, B, what's going on?
Hi. So, question: if would this be appropriate for a lawyer or a doctor's office where you've got HIPAA or privacy regulations? So, where either certain portions of a document could be redacted, or certain people that are part of the team, like the billing department, doesn't need to know all the procedures, but they need to know the costs. Could it be used in that kind of a setting?
I think it could be. I mean, again, that's a Robert question. The legality part of it, I mean, I think it also depends on who else has access to your Microsoft Teams, who has access to your computer. So, like I put everything in a safe. In addition to saving everything, I put everything in what we have like a vault. And unless they know the keyword to get into the vault, you can't get in there. So client resumes, contact information, all of that stuff, that goes straight in the vault. I would assume, again, who has access to it?
Then it seems like the answer would be yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Was Diane's question answered about the OneDrive? Because
Robert was in the middle of answering that
Okay.
question.
okay.
Yeah. So we'll get back to that. We'll get to the jump over to the OneDrive piece. Okay. Just one of the key things around Teams, right? It's about the cloud and being able to share things, right? So I was on the desktop application before. I'm going to show you how you can get to Teams and get to everything else that's in Microsoft from any computer, any phone, any tablet, anything. Okay. What you do is go to office.com. So I'm on the web now, just in Chrome, and I'm going to type in office.com. Okay, so I open office.com. If you're on the same computer, when you go in, you don't have to log in each time. But if I wasn't logged in, it would ask me to log in. Okay, so if you notice here, I'm on the web. I'm on Office, and you see I have all the applications here: Outlook, OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, SharePoint, Teams. Okay, they're all here. I'm going to click on Teams from here first, and then we'll click on OneDrive second. Okay, so I don't necessarily need to be on my computer now. I could be on any computer.
So you could be on your iPhone and do this, or your iPad.
Yes, on your iPad, on your iPhone.
And
As far as logging into a different company, I'm just going to change companies here.
It's all in the cloud. Okay.
Okay, this one's me now. Sorry, it logged me into one of my clients that I was logged into before. So, okay, you see, it looks slightly different. They just made a little change to this when you log in. So if you saw just before, all the applications were across the front. Now they have them running down the side here. Word, Excel. This is the update. They just updated. I'm on like a early release updates. So this change just came to me, and everybody else is going to be getting this very, very soon. It's going to be coming through. So you see all the applications along the side here instead of along the front. Bottom is all apps. So if you click on all applications, now I see all of them. I can scroll through and look at all the different applications that are available to me. Okay. And let me click back on Teams. All the same thing. All right. All right. So if you notice here, it looks very, very much the same, the teams. This one is slightly different because it's a different companies that I'm looking at right now. But you see the same thing: activity, chat, teams, all along the side here, right? This application, this company I'm in, just only has one team showing here. Okay. So in this person that I'm logged in as only has one team that they're invited to. Okay. So the posts, click on the top here, and the files here. Okay. So here's all the access to the files for the team here. Okay. And the other tabs, I'll show you here. I did some special things for this team here. Right now, I don't know if anybody is working in an office now or if they've been into some offices. You need to fill out a health survey form, right? Or do you have any COVID symptoms? Are you, have you left the state? Have you, been in contact with anybody? Have you tested positive? So we have a digital form set up. And it's set up and it's saved in the Teams here. We added this tab here, just like adding a custom website. Added the tab so people can now enter their employee number, answer their questions, submit the form 1, 2, 3 right in their team as they're working, right here. Okay. I also added a button to look at the results. So this is the admin person, so they can see the results of the survey. And don't need to show people's health information, but we'll get off that. But this is a form so I can put in the team, so the support person for this can see the results coming in, and only that person in that team has access to this form and the results, right? Everybody in the company can it has a link to get to their form, but only the people in this special team get access to the results page, okay? And I can add in lots of other tabs and applications here within my team, right? And every team can have different things. I can add forms. I can add a OneNote, so I can have a notebook there. I can have a planner, which lets me put out tasks and things, to-do lists for the team. And all these things can be shared. I can share out list of things to do to other people on my team, and everybody can access and see all the to-do items. All the to-do items also show up then in your Outlook task list and the to-do application. But you see, these are lots of different applications that you can add in links and connectors, so you can customize your team to specific things that you need, or even just a website. If there's a certain website that you use all the time within the team, you can add a website.
So if you bring one of those applications into the team, do you have to give the team a heads up, write a note about it, say, heads up, this is here?
Okay, so as you see here, I'm adding in a team. Here's just office.com. I'll just add that website in here. Actually, got to add the full URL, HTTPS. But if you look right down below here, it says, post to the channel about this tab. So if I check that off, it's going to let everybody in the team know that there's a new website added to the thing to take a look at. So they'll get notification automatically here. So hit save. And now you notice the website is here.
Would you get alerted on this as you're in the team that something just populated?
Yep, so if it should show up here now. If I go back to the general tab here, right here, Robert Kratzke added a new tab at the top of this channel. Here's the link. Right, so it goes right into a message right into the team. Okay. You'll see the notification stuff just like you have in the different social media applications that you can put some comments and stuff in here to it. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Back here. All right, so you can put some comments here. Also, other things you can do with any messages that come in, you can save the message, right? Mark it as read, copy a link, so you get a link right to it. Share it to Outlook, so you can send an email to Outlook. If this was in another language, it would translate it right from here. Immersive Reader brings it out to a bigger screen, so people that have any visual problems, right, can click in and get the information. It could be read to you, just voice settings. So anybody that has any eyesight issues or things like that, the Immersive Reader will help people with that. So those are some little tools built right into this here. Okay, or you can reply, make any comments to it here.
What's amazing is that you don't realize how much stuff comes with Office 365.
Right.
Because I've never seen half of this stuff.
Yep. And there's new stuff coming up every single day with this. So now they just moved, if you have an older version, it's like I said, they were all updating on a regular basis, but they had a camera icon down here before to set up a meeting like within the team. So they moved it up to the top right here. See the little camera here? Okay. So with this camera here, I can either meet now. That means I can schedule a meeting right this second, or I can schedule a meeting. Okay. Now, right now, when I schedule a meeting here, or I do meet now, this is going to make a meeting. This meeting, again, I don't want to do it now because if I click on it now, it's going to jump us out of the meeting. It's going to kick me out because it's using the same protocols to call out in the camera and stuff here. So again, if I open a meeting now, this right here in the window, a meeting window would open up with my video right in the channel. So anybody that's in the team, all they have to do is go to the channel right here where we are, and they can attend the meeting right from the channel. So just like going to your text messages, and when you click on somebody in your text messaging, you have a window of a live video window opens up right there. Okay.
Robert, is that what it would look like if someone sent you a link for an interview, let's say?
Yeah, well, it would be just like you got to meet a request for Zoom, right?
Okay.
You could get an email that's going to have a link to it there.
Got it.
If you set it up in the channel, though, you're going to get a different. It's going to pop up on your calendar, which is. I click on the calendar here. Okay, I'm going to see the calendar will show up here. I don't have anything scheduled right now. because I'm actually in a different company. I'm not in my main application right now. So I don't have any other things on my calendar, but this would show my, access to my regular calendar. Any meetings I have scheduled on my regular Outlook calendar are also going to show up here on my main calendar. But again, if I scheduled this meeting, so from here, when I was in the Teams, if I did meet now, we'd schedule the meeting actually right in the team, and the only people that would have access and be allowed to come to this meeting would be people in the team. So this window would open up right here. What also would happen is if I then recorded the meeting, so think about, you have your weekly board meeting, okay? Right, or your weekly planning meeting, right, every Friday. So when you go to your Teams, the meeting is going to open up right here in the team, right in the chat, okay? And if you save the recording, right, if you record the meeting, it's going to save it, and you'll have a link. You'll have it look like a picture, right? That you can click on the picture and open up the meeting and attend the meeting, anytime afterwards, right? So if you were out on Friday, you had a Friday meeting, you can go back to the channel, click on the meeting, and attend the meeting, and fast forward through it and do everything you want with it. Okay.
So it records the entire meeting.
If you turn on record, it will record it all. Yeah.
That's great.
When it records the meeting, it records it into what's called, they call it Stream. Okay. Stream is the Microsoft Office YouTube, right? So all your videos are actually saved here in Stream. Okay. So I had a call here to security. We had a security call. It was about security with a client. Okay. And so this is the meeting here. Okay. Just put it on pause. But if you look on the right here, here's a transcript of the entire meeting.
Wow.
Okay.
I like that.
So, and right now you see it just says, all the words here and stuff, and there's time, so you can, see and just scan through the time. You can also search the transcript. So we talk about security, so let's do security. And here's all the time security was mentioned. So I can look through and see, the call focused on security, but they're looking into it. So click here, and it goes right to that part of the meeting in a second. Yep. Give me a record. Clicked on the bottom one. Are you hearing the audio?
No.
No.
I didn't share audio on the screen. When I shared the screen, you have to select in Zoom to share audio. We can do that. Let me.
Does the duo come with the software?
Does what come with the software?
I hear the barking. Does the dog come with the software?
Oh, yeah, not my dog.
Oh,
Here it is. Just resharing with the sound. Okay. All right. So anyway, this second to last
So
one here.
can you,
Make sure we're covering everything that we want to. I'm going to click on that, and we should get the sound.
I want to make sure we're covering everything that we want to.
Robert, there was a question.
Yep.
Give me a second. I'm going to have to call back. I'm going to have to.
did we lose him again?
What was the question?
I'm sorry, I don't know who it was. Someone had started speaking and then.
that was me actually, it's Rosemary. I was going to ask, but I wanted to stop because I thought I was cutting in. So you could actually do like a self meeting and make it be like a training doc if you want. I know there's Sway and I know there's Stream, but if you were a person that was more comfortable, you could do your own meeting and record it and then send that to people, or no?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So So I
So
thought
you
this
can
was,
download it from here. Also, again, if you just say, if you just recorded your own meeting, right? It's just, you're the only person in the meeting. And you
Right.
hit record. Again, you could save it within the channel. So if you're using a team and you're in a team, you could save it right in the channel.
Yep.
And then everybody could get your video meeting or your instructions or whatever.
Yep.
So you could quickly do a little, video demo telling people instructions on how to do something. And just like a text message you're sending them, but you're putting it right into their team, right into their channel.
Yep.
Or you could do it in the chat, right? And save it into, and do it in the chat and do a video from the chat side.
if you wanted to share it and let's say put it on an email or on another, let's say, site, would you have to give permissions to it, or is it what, as long as you're sending it out?
Yeah, well, again, you have to have permissions to get to the video, but from here, from here you can download the video and copy it. There's the settings here.
Right, I'm thinking like, let's say I did one, and then I wanted to send it to people, but I don't have a team set up for the number of people that I want to send it to, and I don't want to put it in a chat. I wanted to
You
attach
mean like
it to
link?
almost like a link. Yeah, I want to put it in an email, but I wanted to be sure that there wasn't any kind of restriction on
It depends on your environment, how it's set up here. So if I look here in the top right here, I'm in Stream is the application it's called. It's
Right.
just where the videos get stored. But here, I can share it from here or invite others. I can invite people to come see this. But again, your coworkers would have to have rights to it, right? Again, if it was set up in a private channel, they wouldn't have access to it. You would have to grant access or put some, or copy it and save it down and then share it out separately.
So you would do it, if you were going to do that concept then, and you wanted to share it, then you would probably do it in like, just, I'm going to say an open meeting, and don't put it into a channel. Is that what you're saying? Because I like this concept. That's why I'm asking if you.
Yeah, I think that way you'd be able to share it
Got it. Okay.
more openly that way. But again, you could copy download this and then send it out, as an MP4. So,
Okay. I mean, I've used Stream before too, so I guess it's really similar. I could do it that way too. But sometimes
Yeah.
you just want to do it as like a little meeting.
coming
setting.
up very soon too. So right now you see how, even as this is going on, we don't really know who's talking, right? Sometimes unless you're seeing the people or you can tell it. Here I have caption subtitles. So I can turn on subtitles. So now when this is going
Call
on.
through the phone, Arnie, because I'm
Okay.
getting in and out. So let me call
Jose.
back.
Jose, if you give me your phone number. Okay, so if you notice the subtitles are coming up here. What's also going to be happening within the next, expecting about the next month or so, they're not only going to have the subtitles there, but it's going to say the person's name in front of it. Right, because especially if you have a large group, if you got 10 people, 20 people, right, it's hard to see who's talking. It's going to actually tell you who's talking based on who's logged in.
That's cool.
So it's not going to just have numbers and the time here. It's actually going to have the people's names that were speaking. So it's going to be a much more in-depth transcript. Okay, so that feature's coming very soon. Also, when you hear the subtitles here, the subtitles can be in like 40 different languages. So if you're in a large company and people speak Spanish and people speak Mandarin and other things, the subtitles can show up in many different languages.
You have to set that up before, or can you do your, let's call it meeting or whatever, and then go and update it and change it so that it can be in a different language?
Well, during a live meeting, you can actually turn on subtitles and put it in the language of your choice. So even though I'm speaking in English, it could be showing up in Spanish on your phone or on your tablet.
Okay.
Right, in real time.
Yeah. What if you wanted to then take one, I don't know, pick another one. What if you had a group and you needed it in something else? Would you be able to go back and do an update and adjust it? Do you know? Like, let's say French. You say you were using Spanish. Let's say you had a group that you wanted in French. I'm just curious. You're making me think, so I apologize for all
Yeah,
the
I haven't done enough with the
Okay.
different languages. I've had it on my phone, a meeting going on and having it going in Spanish. So as
Got
I'm
it. Yeah,
talking,
I
it's
like-
showing up in Spanish.
Yeah, I like that idea that you can do it and the captions can
I
be.
mean, it's a great thing, I
yeah.
think, in schools and stuff now.
Yep.
You have a lot of, people who
Yep.
don't speak English. That's not their first language, right? Especially now that they're doing video meetings anyway, right? So their presentations, as they're doing it online, people can be reading it in their own language while they're listening to it in English.
Or for job seekers, if they're being interviewed by several different, individuals, maybe two of them don't speak English as fluently, or, maybe their English is a little broken, that would be fantastic.
Yep, if you could have it running during a meeting. Again, if it's typically a company's going to invite you in and you're not necessarily going to have the access to it.
Mhm.
But if you're able to, or even think about if you're in a regular meeting, you're in an hour-long meeting, and you got to step away from it. If somebody comes to the door and you got to go answer the door and do something, right? And then you come back, 5 minutes later, and then somebody asks you a question. You don't know what's going on. You can look at the transcript and see what's going on, right? Because the transcript is going to run during the meeting and be kept with the meeting. Right now, it's not. You have to. Right now, it's kind of downloading it afterwards, the transcript. But the transcript is going to be live coming up very soon. So you can have a window with the live, just like you have a chat window open, you can have the live transcript window open at the same time.
There was a question here. It says, how does Teams come packaged? Do you purchase it separately if you don't have a subscription?
Okay. So as to, if you have a subscription to Office, Teams comes with it, comes with the subscription. There is also a free version. So you could just go to office.com or go to teams.office.com, log right into Teams on the web and set up an account, free account, and use Teams. The free account isn't going to have every feature, right? It's going to be a little scaled down, but it does most of the things and all the meetings you can have and invite people up to 200 people.
And then there was another question, is a transcription capability via a partnership with Otter AI by chance? I don't know if you can see that on the chat box. Uh-oh. Robert?
It's frozen again.
Oh, no. These two systems really do not like each other.
Maybe he's going back to look it up.
No, I'm pretty sure he knows. There we go.
And he's gone.
And
Come back, Robert.
he will come back.
Well, hopefully he knows how to come back quicker after so many attempts.
Did he click his heels?
You know what it is? I think that it would probably be a lot easier. Like when he taught, well, he and I were on here and he was showing me a lot of different things. It was moving so quickly, but I think because the two systems are conflicting, this is why we're having.
Do you think you can do that, the session in a Teams meeting, since you could send it out? Not now, it's too late. Maybe that's
Well, not
something for
now, but we
future.
would have to.
Yeah, for future
I'd have
training,
to-
maybe.
Denise, that's something that we'd have to discuss about, like future,
Yeah.
Microsoft programs.
Yeah.
Right now, the only platform the library's using for workshops is Zoom. So, but we could talk about it. Yeah.
Maria, do you have Teams yet?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I had asked Robert if he would be open to doing is at one of our board meetings for our foundation, potentially coming in and kind of just, teaching all of us how to use it. The fact that it allows you to save your meeting notes and all that information is, in my eyes, fantastic, because sometimes people can't make the meetings. And
I'm asking because if maybe if you and I try out Teams together, I could transform myself back to Mitchell and stop being a green frog. I'm wondering if the green screen is endemic to Zoom, and maybe I would go back to being Mitchell again if we
Instead
went
of
to
green screen?
Teams.
You
Yeah,
don't like your nickname? I gave it to you. How many?
yeah,
Like
I know. I love it, but I'd rather see people. I'd like to be back in color. So I'm just wondering if maybe that would work in Teams. Maybe we could
Right.
do a test run, see if
Robert's
I
back.
come
Is
through.
Robert back?
Yes, he is. He's actually on
Robert.
Microsoft Teams. Welcome, Robert.
Oh,
Is he back?
I
he
think.
was.
Let's see here. Did we give him? Yep. He's got the screen.
Is this something like a power failure?
No, I think it's just the two systems are really just very conflicting and they just don't work well together. I've never had a problem like this. I've had situations with Zoom before where they went out, but not like this. This is almost like they're seriously fighting for power here. Hey,
And he's gone.
I think he logged off to log back in.
Maybe the show only is for an hour.
No. He'll be back. So has anyone here utilized Teams at all? Or been
Yeah.
invited to partake in anything with Teams?
Yes.
Yes, I do a lot of video calls on Teams.
It's great, isn't it?
I think it's great.
Yeah, we use it all at work.
I access it when I am sent a link.
Mhm.
I have found easiest way to access it is to just go to my calendar.
Yep.
Because the link is on there. Because if you use the browser, not all browsers work with it. So,
I noticed that too.
okay.
I
Good, I'm not
noticed
alone.
that. No, I noticed that it worked with Chrome, but it didn't work with Google.
Right. So you just go to the calendar, click on the link, and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Pops up.
Agreed. Ooh, the district I teach and is planning on using it for a hybrid teaching in the fall. Sinead, that is amazing. That's fantastic. That's something that I was wondering about with back to school. What the plans are. What are we doing? How's it going to work?
I didn't know there was the free version. That's really interesting. I'm going to tell a few friends that, because I think people are using Zoom because they don't realize that
It has an option.
Yeah, and I heard some negative things about some of the security and stuff with Zoom and whatnot. So I
Sorry
think
about that. I'm back.
Oh,
there he is. We were just saying how much the two systems do not like each other. But also what was very interesting, Robert, was that Sinead was saying that the district that she teaches in is planning on using it for hybrid teaching in the fall.
That's great. It's really taken leaps and bounds just in the last couple months. All right, so I'm going to share something here in a second. Okay. All right, sharing my screen.
So I assume, and I know the answer to this, but some people might not. I know that very similar to Zoom, you can actually put different backgrounds behind you with this system as well.
Yep. Can you hear this?
I hear someone talking like a TV.
So this is a new feature coming.
Try a
So
witchery
those three
background.
people, these 4 people are in all different places. So instead of just a regular background, it actually takes you off of your own background and it puts you in a shared background.
Are we supposed to be able to see this, Robert? Because we can't see your screen right now.
Sure.
There we go.
Okay, once.
If you manage a team, you have to try Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to track everything your team is working on.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin.
Microsoft Teams is the hub for teamwork in Microsoft 365. It's one place where people can chat, share files, and work together. But now that video conferences are the new normal, there are times when people need to feel like they're in the same room. That's when you can turn on Together Mode. It puts your team in one shared space. Microsoft AI helps break down barriers, letting you communicate more naturally and feel more connected to your team. It works for coffee breaks, team meetings, or your next all hands. So from everyday get-togethers to important meetings, be together, even when you're apart.
So, are we there?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, thought I lost you again. So, yeah, I actually tried this out. So, as of I think it was about August 1st, maybe July 30th. So Zoom, I was starting to say before, Zoom lets you have up to like 50 people on the screen. About 3 months, when the pandemic started with Microsoft, you could only get 4 people on the screen at the same time, 4 video feeds. About a month ago or 2 months ago, it went to 9, and now it's up to 49. And as well as having 49 different windows, you could also put the 49 people into an auditorium just like this. So,
that's pretty cool.
And they will see the same thing that you're seeing.
they'll see that. So if I share it mode, and I actually have it on my computer now, I can turn on this mode, together mode. I have the updated version of it. So once you have over 5, I think it's over 6 people, you can turn on this feature, right? Or you can turn on the large gallery feature, which would go up to 49 people. So as many people as you have on the screen, you can show.
Cool.
For it. So that's a very cool thing. That's new features with that. The other thing with the window, so talk about meetings is a big part of this. And while we're again talking about meetings, there's actually 2 different kinds of meetings that you can set up when you have a Teams license, right? So the first is a general one, just like this meeting we're in now, right? The Zoom meeting, right? Everybody's here in it. Everybody could talk. Everybody could share their cameras. Again, if you allow, if it's allowed by the administrator, right? We can communicate with each other. There's also another version. If you think about it, if you're delivering a seminar or something, right? To hundreds of people, right? And you don't want these people, you only want these people to watch it. You don't want them talking. You don't want them interrupting. You don't want to see their picture on the screen, right? You're just doing a seminar or webinar and you just want to deliver content, right? Just your speaker, you just want your speakers sharing information. You don't want everybody sharing information. So there's another version. And again, when you set up a meeting, let me see if I can go back and we'll show this. Mouse. Okay. Right. So I'm in the calendar area where I can schedule a meeting. If I go here to new meeting. So when you go to schedule a meeting, it's going to give you it will give you a choice. If it's not giving me the choice, not cooperating today. So anyway, the choices to the two kinds of meetings. One meeting is called live event. Is the meeting when we do that. And let me show you right here.
You can manage your team's work easily with Monday.com. Just go to Monday.com and start tracking
A live event and just a standard that you can. And now this shows me the two types.
Okay, so right here, when you click on the meeting, it's going to give you two choices, maybe a little hard to see, but up in the top right, it says schedule a meeting or a live event. Okay, when you do a live event, I'll show you what the screen looks like when you're sharing it, when you're managing it. Scroll down once the meeting's set up. Oh. Okay. So this is what the event looks like when you're managing the event. You actually have two windows, okay? On the right is what's going to be going live. And on the left side, you can queue up the content for who's the next speaker, right? What presentation is going to be shared next. So if I'm sure if you've attended any meetings over the last couple of months, a lot of times you have transition issues when the next presenter is going to take over, right? Oh, I got to share my screen, get my camera on, get things ready. When you're running a live event, it actually gives you a window to queue things up and get things ready so that you can be a much smoother. And then all you do is hit go live and it jumps the content from the left side window over to the right side. Okay, so this is it here. You can see how it was. Content was put up here on the left. As soon as you hit the orange yellow button here is go live, which you may not be able to read it. But once you're ready on the left side, you hit go live, and then it flips it over and drops it over on the right side. It's ready. And now you can put new content up on the left and get ready for it. Okay, so the content's going on the right, and he's getting a video ready on the left to go, or a speaker's camera, or whatever you want to share, or you can have multiple people's cameras and a presentation. Again, you get things ready, and then you hit go live, and then it flips over the new content. Okay. What also happens with a live meeting, okay, is it actually sets up a DVR. So if one of the attendees gets to the meeting 10 minutes late, they can actually start the meeting at the beginning of the meeting and fast forward through it back and forth. So it sets up a live DVR so that, again, you can, anybody attending late, or if you have to go to the bathroom or the doorbell rings, you can pause the meeting. Everybody else is going on, the meeting's going on, the presentation's happening, but you can go back and hit play and not miss anything in the meeting. Very cool feature.
That is a very cool feature. So, I was here all along. I don't know what you're talking about. I heard everything.
I know I got a compliance meeting coming up that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Want to sit through that entire thing?
No, will it realize when I fall asleep?
I think that depends on if you're big.
That's in the next update. That's in the next
Yeah,
update.
as soon as I snore, it goes. So with the speaker version, though, I'm kind of got excited about that thing. So can you have a moderator that's doing the behind the scenes with making sure that the data is ready for the next person?
That's exactly what it is. So you have different roles, okay, right? The typical roles, like in a meeting now, right? You have presenter or you have attendee, right? Now this puts in a new role. They call it director or producer or something. So you basically have a director or producer. So you're producing the content. It does also plug into outside third-party, high-end systems like the NFL draft.
Oh, don't lose you now.
Oh, no, don't leave us now.
Come
on, Robert, push through.
Oh, God. So, all right, now it's my turn to think about, oh, man, where can this thing go? So I got the, I could see giving a speaker presentation, you know, and then having the audience sitting in that thing, and then they look at you as the profile. That was my question. You know, if you're the person speaking, will you be the highlighted speaker for everybody to look at? And then again, if not, they don't need to look at themselves, but the content, the rest of that stuff. And then I'm assuming that he was going to head in the direction of you could hook up real camera equipment and sound equipment to this whole thing too.
I guess I'm not really quite sure about. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, I think so. He was mentioning about outside stuff, so
Yes.
without a doubt, because this
It's
is run
such a
through your
shame that
computer.
this is constantly kicking us in and out. This is very annoying, but you know, and it was funny because I said to myself, I was like, I wonder how these two systems are going to work together.
Whatever. This is inspiring.
It's technology. This is what we have to deal with.
Yeah, and this is most
That's okay.
relaxed in the meeting too. So whatever. This is me.
In summary, Teams is supposed to be a competitor to Zoom.
Not well. Zoom can't even touch Teams in my eyes anyway. After learning what I learned from Robert when we had our conference call, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? The fact that you can save documentation, videos, conversations. You could save a chat box here in Zoom, and I could copy and paste it, or I can basically save it. But you cannot do half of what Teams allows you to do. Teams is like it really does keep people together if in fact you're utilizing it the right way. You know, people can share things. Let's say, for example, I'll just give our board as an example. We want to talk about having committees. You could break out the committees. The committees have their own documents. They have their own videos. They have their own chats. All these different things are just fantastic in my eyes anyway, because they're things that, you know, you can utilize. And you don't have to try and figure out where'd that document go. Everything is there for the people that, that need to use it within the committee.
So it offers more features than Zoom, but it does what Zoom does.
It does more than what Zoom does.
Okay.
I was always under the impression that Teams was more of a rival to Google Docs. You know,
that's what's it called, like OneDrive and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what I was under that impression.
He's back.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have the phone going as well, so that if I won't be lost. If anyway, I'm both going. So the question you're saying there about Teams being a rival to Google Docs. It is, but Microsoft Office is a rival to that. Right, but it's the whole thing is that it's bringing all these different pieces together, right? It has a Zoom piece, right? It has the meetings, the Google Docs or Microsoft OneDrive or SharePoint. The online storage is the same, right? It's a comparable feature. Google was actually much better with like Google Docs for a while because you could share and do things share remotely and work on documents together with people long before Microsoft was doing it. Okay. But now Microsoft's brought it totally inside of Word, right? So right from Word, you can share and work on things, save it to the cloud, right? And access it from anywhere, from any device, anytime. So all these things, so they've got all these different pieces together. And again, let me pull up this presentation again real quickly.
Well, it seems like with all these features, we're pretty much at screen sharing. You have anything on your computer that you want to share with anybody, you possibly can.
Yeah. So I got to
Any virtual reality steps in a little bit further, we'll be all sitting next to each other, or with that same background.
Well, you can and that together.
Well, you basically are now, and
that's really cool.
And it was really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, if you're leading a panel discussion, it looks great if the panel all has the same paneling, we'll say, behind them.
Yeah, you think, again, as you look at it too, you got 6 or 7 windows open, everybody's got a different background. It isn't really smooth when you think about it. Again, it's what we're used to. It's all there was. But now when you try it the other way, and they're sitting right there in one view. It's so much easier to concentrate on the 3 people sitting at a table as opposed to 3 different boxes with
And
different
there's
backgrounds.
no need for, and Mitchell, maybe this question is directed to you, but there's no need for a green screen?
I'm here.
No,
There's a need for a Mitchell, but there's no need for a green screen.
yeah. Again, you could still use a green screen for it because it's going to show up a little. It's going to grab your background a little bit better if you had a green screen. You might
I
grab
don't
you
know
a
if
little
it's
smoother. So it
I
wouldn't
don't know
hurt
if
to
it's a
have that.
hardware problem or a software problem. I think it's hardware.
Are you there, Robert?
He muted himself.
I muted both devices.
Okay.
So I need to get my screen sharing.
So Maria, you'd mentioned, and I'm a board member of the ECNY Foundation, with these meetings, from in between meetings, it'd be a great place to keep notes or things that we want to discuss about future meetings instead of me keeping it as a separate Word document on my computer.
Can you allow screen sharing?
Okay.
It'd be John. He would have to help you enable that. He's our tech for tonight.
Still there?
I can text him.
Okay. So yes, Brian, I agree with you because there are a lot of things in between that are happening that, now they're building up, and we're talking about doing a, board meeting this weekend, and it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And there's other things going on too.
Sure.
So it's a matter of keeping all this stuff in one place. The company that I work with has Teams, and they use it extensively. Love the thing. I'm glad I'm here tonight to get to know it a little bit better and realize what I'm missing out on. So
I think also the capabilities are just amazing.
So, all right, I can't share my screen right now and have the ability to, but what I wanted to talk about was the different applications, right? So, Office covers all these different pieces, right? So your email is Outlook, right? Your document storage is your Google Docs, right? Your OneDrive, it's there. Your Zoom meetings is there, right? They have forms. Anybody have used SurveyMonkey?
Yes.
Right? You have forms. Forms can do different things now, right? So you can create a form right from it. And all these things can be all brought within Teams. So the whole idea is that think about if I look at my phone right now, I've got 1,642 unread messages on my phone. Okay, and about 1,638 are junk, right? So the whole idea is if you can get yourself out of your email and get working in your team, right? So when you're in Teams, everything you need for your team is there. You don't have to go anywhere else to get anything you need. So you can customize that to be able to access any applications you need to access, right? To get to any forms you need to get to any documents you need to get to, all the people you need to talk to are right there. All your communications are kept together in one place, so you don't have to go looking for it. And if you need to look for it, you can search for everything in there. Just type it right in the top of Teams, type in search, and it will look through all your chats, all your teams, all the messages, and find anything that mentions that word that you search for.
I think that's one of my favorite features.
Right. And again, but also only things that you have rights to, right? If I put in a word, financials, right? The financials aren't going to show up if I don't have rights to the financial information in the company, right? It's only going to show up what you have access to, what you have rights to. Okay, all right, I got the screen sharing back, so let me,
there we go.
so if we move on to the next, any other questions? Kind of.
Let me see in the chat box. No questions in the chat box.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a look at it now. So let me get back to Open Teams. I'll kick us out again, please. All right. All right. You see the Teams window here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So just going back along the left side again, we'll talk about a little bit about some of the other things that are here. Now going back to this, one of the key things about this is think about is there's a lot of things, there's a lot of features, there's a lot of stuff. But as you're looking at this stuff within Microsoft and Office 365, is if you just get an idea about what it can do. You don't need to know or remember how to do everything, because there's a lot of stuff here you're not going to remember it all just by getting a quick little run through like this, right? But if you know what it can do, it's very easy to search and say, how do I do this? Right? And you go YouTube and they'll walk you right through everything. So it's getting an idea about understanding what the capability of this stuff is, right? So if you want to be able to do a meeting and have the director area and do live events, you have to know how to walk out of this, this call tonight and know how to do a live event. No, you can look at the 3-minute video and it'll show you exactly what to do. But if you don't know you can do the live event style, right? You don't know it's there, you'll never see it, you'll never do it. So just think about the capabilities of what this stuff can do, not necessarily to understand now how to do everything, right? That's not going to be possible. But it's about just getting a feel for what this does and why you would do this, okay? So I'm taking a quick look at the teams now. I'm back into the teams here. And I'm going to pick one of the channels here. Luna was one of the companies I worked with here, did some training for. And I added different tabs along here. What we built for them within this company, this was right at the beginning of the COVID, right? And we built out a crisis communication application and put it right here in Teams. So I click on this tab up along the top, and this is an application that was built with Microsoft Office, nothing special that was needed to. And this is for the administrator, the admin portal, to set up all the settings, company information, company news, and this is stuff to publish out around, it was around a crisis pandemic. On the left side here, I added a tab in here called Crisis Communication. This is the application. Okay. And this should something happen, this is how you can communicate with your team, right? Share your status, get news, company news coming in, frequently asked questions, links, emergency contacts, make a request about things. So this is a communication portal for emergency response within a company, Connect. This is something that was actually pre-built out, and it was basically within about an hour or two, this whole thing was set up within Office. Wow. And there's many other applications, similar kind of things. So you can put a custom, application in. If you need to, keep reports about the job hiring, right? Is it onboarding? Is it hiring new people? You can create an application to track all your people coming in, get reports, share all the information within your team, and put a very customized front end on this without any programming. This is done with little to no programming needed at all. All these things are built at templates and tools to build out different, special applications and so forth. And again, they have many pre-built applications. So if we look at the dots here, these are more applications that are coming in here. Wow. Some of them are third-party things, third-party companies, polling applications, planner. Here's more applications. There's hundreds of applications that are all pre-built. Just like here's this crisis communication application. It's now in here. So anybody can go in here and get that application customized and put it in for the company. Then you just got to customize, put in your logo, things like that. But there's hundreds. That's a free application. There's many other free applications. Some are paid applications. Salesforce, MailChimp, Constant Contact, things like that are built into these things here. So there's lots and lots and lots of things that you can do. And all you do is, again, select something you want, click on it, and it will put it right into, put a link right in here. Okay. So any of these applications you can pick in here. You see here, they have things so you can search for different things, bots. There's bot makers here so that you can get people to, self-service answers. You know how a bot is when it's not a real person answering it. If you ask a question, and it will answer. So you can create a Q&A, information portal that's all self-service. Right?
Robert, just a quick question. So all this third-party stuff, do you have to pay extra for this, or how does that work?
It depends on the product. Some yes, some no. Right? Zoom has a free version. Zoom also has a paid version. So many of these things have paid versions. Some are free versions. Is Box. Google is here. So if you're using Google Drive, you can integrate with Google Drive so you can get to your Google Drive right from Teams, right, if you're still using that. So there are lots and lots of programs and things like that available here. Okay. Flow is something, I'll show you that in a couple minutes. Flow is a very powerful tool to, again, automate workflows. And I'll show you how that works and how you can do it right from Teams even here. Calls. Calls is another thing that's part of Teams. So I'm going to click on calls here. So calls is actually, you actually have voice over IP calling that you can call right from here to anybody that's in your team, right? Or anybody else that's connected in using Teams, you can make calls. There is also a voice service that phone line. So you can actually have your phone in Teams, and it's tied and accessed right through here. So you make calls on your phone using Teams. You need an service for it. You have to sign up for service, but we just set up a client on that now. We just put that in last week. It took them about a day and a half to get their phone set up, all with the press 1 to speak to this person, dial their name in. So all the full features that you would get in a phone system are all there, and they're tied into Teams here. And it's also tied into your, individual contacts and stuff here. I don't have people set up here. But down here, here's one I have, Lord, who I just spoke to the other day. I could make a phone audio call to him or a video call in one click. Very similar to if I go into chat and I click on Scott here, up in the top, I can do a video call, audio call, or let's share my screen from here. Same. So it's very similar features, but the calling section also adds in, has voicemail. So if you call somebody and they're not there, it will go to their voicemail. And you have voicemail here that you can answer your voicemail from here, and it will transcribe it just like you see on your, like on your iPhone or something. Okay. So here's a history of all calls that came in from different people here. And stop on the end. Let's call them back, chat with them, add them by address book, add them to contacts, things like that. So a lot of ways you can jump around and get into things there. Okay. And okay. So the other tab I have along the left here, you see is files. Okay, see files on the left? Okay, so this actually lets me get to different files here. Okay, if you look along the top right, recent is highlighted. Okay, so what's showing up on the screen are all my recent documents. Okay, and if you look on the right, it shows you the location where these documents are stored, right? These aren't all things that I did in Teams. These are just anything that I worked on recently, right? So the IMCP scorecard, that's the document we clicked on that I had shared to Teams, okay? And it's in the IMCP Long Island general channel. That's good. All the rest of the documents are all things that I've recently worked in OneDrive, okay? So it shows you the things that I've worked on. None of these things I worked on in Teams. These are all OneDrive files. different accounts, ACM, MCS, different clients, best text drive. These are all different folders on my OneDrive. Okay, but just notice some of these things here, ACM, MCS, BTAF. Now when I click on the left here and I go to OneDrive, you're going to see some of those same folders will be here. So I can get to my OneDrive, which is like my network folder, right? My Robert folder on the server in the office in the old days. I click on OneDrive, and here's all my folders here. Here's the BTAF folder was there, MCS. So these are the different things that were. Right, so MCS, here's Fitch project, copy of Fitch. If I go back to recent, under MCS, Fitch top 5 priorities. That was in the, from my OneDrive, MCS folder.
I love about the OneDrive is how easy it is to access on my phone. Because I usually am constantly sending out documents, whatever it is, and I know that once it's saved on my laptop, it automatically saves in the OneDrive and it's in my phone, and that's fantastic to me.
Yeah, so all the apps, these apps are right on your phone, so you can easily download OneDrive. And again, you log in, and you don't have to keep logging in. It will just keep you logged in on your phone. So you can easily click on it and share and access all the documents. So again, very easy to get to all your documents on your drive here, right from Teams. Right, just click to the files. Your OneDrive is there. Click on Microsoft Teams. These are all the documents that I have saved within Teams. Will show up here eventually. Or I can click on recent and just see anything recently I've been working on. Right. So here's all these are saved. And again, if you look on the right here, these are all the different folders on the right, the different sites that I have in IMCP site, Office Training, Introspect USA, Sandler, IMCP, IC Tech. These are all different folders and different teams that I have. Right, I have teams set up for all these different companies and different associations that I work with. So I have these documents. Again, I don't have to even go to the team specifically to go find it. Just going to Teams here in Files, I can quickly and easily find things. And again, at the search up top here, I can click here and search right on these files right here for it. Okay. 365 recommendations, my recommendations. So just typing it up top, you know, you can find something that was mentioned in one of the files there on my. Okay, if you type a slash up into the top here, it shows you a lot of shortcuts that you have here to find different things. Right, if you want to just search activities, if you want to start, make yourself available, set your status. If you look up on the top right, you see my old picture up in the top right, and there's a red dot. That shows that I'm in a meeting right now, right? You can change your availability to show yourself active, or again, if you were available, you can show yourself to be busy as well. Okay, so set busy. I can make myself available. So it shows that I'm available even though I'm in a meeting. By default, because I was in a meeting, it showed me as busy. Okay. But if you don't want to show that you're in a meeting, you want to make people know you can still be reached, you can change it to green so that they know you're logged in and you're at your computer and they can contact you. Okay. And that little presence dot, you're going to see it all over Office. If you're in Outlook, you're going to see and people are logged in, especially within your own company, you're going to see people with a green dot, red dot, or yellow dot, or zero, or it'll just be blank, and that'll mean they haven't been logged in today. That's going to show up all over the place, even within a document. I go here to the file, info. If you notice here, this is in PowerPoint. Okay. This presence will show up here when you're in a company and tied in. I'm the only person in the company here, so it's not really showing up but it would even show within a Word document, if somebody's sitting at the desk and they're logged in, they're going to be green. And this is just in the back end of a Word document, thing. But if you're in Outlook, okay, see Maria, there's a dot here again. We're not connected our company, is through the company, so it's blank because I don't know her presence. But if you were connected, it would be green or red or yellow, whatever. So you can see in every application, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, people on your team, if they're available, right? If they're green, it means they've recently logged in. They're probably at their desk. You could give them a call. They're not on a phone call. They're not in a Teams meeting. Because if either one of those are true, it's going to show up red automatically that they're busy. So. Is everybody there?
Yep.
Okay. Something popped up on my screen.
I never realized this before.
All right. So,
Big brother watching again. Hey, Robert, a question came up before. If I have documents on my C drive, do I need to physically move them?
Okay,
Should I
yes,
move them
thank you for
over to the
bringing that up. I wanted to show that. So there's lots of ways to get your documents and things like that. Right. So we saw here in Teams that within Teams, you can get to all your SharePoint documents here. I mean, all your OneDrive documents, right? OneDrive is here. All your Microsoft Teams documents are here. Also, anything recently that you used is here, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go back online to office.com. Okay, and when I log into office.com, I'm gonna see all my applications. I'm gonna see recent documents I worked on. Again, I'm logged into this other company, and I did the COVID survey for them recently, so it's popping up here. Something I recently worked on, okay? Log back in so you can see everything. Okay. All right. You see my OneDrive here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So again, I could go online, office.com, click on OneDrive, and here's all of my documents in my OneDrive. Here's all my folders. Okay. If I go on my phone and I click on OneDrive, I'm going to see all these same folders here. They're all going to be there. I can scan through on my phone and pick any folder. Okay. And on whether you're on your phone or even on here, you now have access to lots of other things you can do with these documents or these folders. Okay. If I select something, let me go down to just a document at the bottom. Okay. Sales tips and tricks here. Okay, so here's a document. Once I select something, or I could select multiple documents too. Okay. I'm just going to select one. See here, I have choices to do it. Open it, share it, copy the link, download it, delete it, rename, automate. Automate is the workflow. So doing automate, I can make things happen. So I can set up rules to make certain things happen. Okay, well, we're going to look at that as the last thing. But looking at what I can do with this document, that's sharing it. So there's two things you can do, about two ways to share something, right? Typically, always, how do you typically send a document to someone?
Attachment.
Attachment, right? So what happens when you attach something and send it to someone?
They get to open it, look at it.
They get to open it.
Sometimes the size is the problem.
If they open it and if they make any changes to it or they do anything, what happens?
Well, it depends on if it's PDF and they know how to convert that, or if it's Word doc and they're, they have the ability. It's not
right.
blocked.
So again, if you didn't put any protections on it to stop them from doing things, if somebody opens a document, they change it, you now have a different document.
Right.
Right. So say you're making plans to you're putting together a marketing plan, was sent out to 3 people, and 2 people make some changes to it. They send it back to the 3rd person. What has to happen? You got to compile the information, make changes, and do things, right? Because basically now you have 3 different documents, right? Every time you send out an attachment, you end up with multiple documents, right? Do you ever go looking for a document and you find something, but it's not the latest one? You made changes to it, and now you're trying to find the one you made changes to?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not the latest document?
Actually, let me ask you a question about that really quick. So usually when you're on, like, you're opening up a Word document of your own, and at the very top, it shows a little on-off button as to, do you want it to save the changes or not save the changes? Is there a way to put that on, like, let the default be off? Because I often do that, and then I'll change the document, and then I'm trying to get back to the old document, and I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. Now that document has a whole bunch of other information on there. It's no longer a master document. Now it's a brand new document for whatever it was.
So what Marie's asking here, I'm going to open up Excel and okay, so all right, so I have a document here. If you look up at the top, right, I have it says auto save. It's turned off now. Okay. So what this means that if I make any changes to this, it's not going to change the document until I hit save myself. Okay.
Or save it under a different name.
Or save it under a different name. So right now, again, if I make any changes, nothing's going to happen to this document. It's not going to be saved until I actually save it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, when you're in the desktop version of Excel or Word, you have the ability to turn this on or off.
Yes, you just have to remember to do that.
If you have it on, that means everything you do is going to get changed. So, right, if you're working on a document and something happens and you lose power, you will not lose any of your work because it's saving it every second that you're working on it. Okay. Mm-hmm. When you work on the web, when you're online and you open something like from OneDrive.
There was another question. The question was back to folders and docs and accessible from your phone. This was from Jack. Hello, Jack. Since cloud-based, it would not take up storage on your phone, or would it not take up storage from your phone?
No, it typically doesn't. You can save something to your phone, but no, it just, all it does is save all basically the links to everything.
That's cool.
Okay? So basically what this is, and what I was going to say here, up here where it says copy link, okay? This is basically a website. Mm-hmm. This document is at a website. So if I click on this link, right, and if I hit copy link, okay, this is a website. So HTTPS, I hit copy it. And here, anyone with this link can view this document.
Yes, it actually shows that when you attach a document to an email.
Right.
So the question.
Or I could click on this now and say only people in my company can access it. Only specific people. Do I want to let them edit it or not? I can check that off. Do I want to set an expiration date? Do I want to put a password on it? Do I want to block people from downloading it so they can only see it, they can't download it? You can control everything about your document when you use a link, right? If you send an attachment, they're going to get an attachment. It'll be a separate document.
Right.
But if you send a link and let them choose specific people and allow them to edit it, now the people on your team are allowed to edit the document, and it's one document that you work on and update, and then you always have the latest and greatest document. Right? You have a spreadsheet of a list of clients, right? And people need to put notes on it when they speak to the client, or keep track of tasks that they completed or not, right? If you have a spreadsheet, everybody could work on the same spreadsheet and just make real-time updates right on the spreadsheet, and everybody has the real-time information as soon as it's done, if you allow editing. So if you start sharing links instead of sharing an attachment, number one, you're not sending things that are creating an extra copy, but it lets you manage things much better. So if anybody works on it and you want them to, if you want to work on it together, you allow editing. If you only want people to be able to read it, Like if you're going to send a price list to a client, right? You can send them a price list, and then if the prices change every month, you can change the price list, and they already automatically have the changes. Next time they open it, they will have all the changes.
That's cool.
Just the URL there just doesn't change. Can you send videos also this way?
Yep.
So I don't need Dropbox anymore.
Nope.
Quick question was the question about the C drive transferring the documents to
Yep.
OneDrive.
Okay. So next is shown a C drive. So don't just finalize here on the OneDrive here. Right, here's all my files. I also have a recent. If you click on recent, it just shows you all the recent things I was working on. Right, so it makes it easy. Typically, you're working on the same things you worked on yesterday, right? So from all these places, you can always find the recent documents. If anybody shared things with you, there's this tab for anything that was shared with you. Shared with me, if you look at the top here, or shared by me. So I can see things that I've shared with people, right? And say this approval test here. You know what? I share. This was shared by me, but you know what? Here's the 3 dots. If I click on the 3 dots here, it lets me manage access and find out who did I share this with, this document. I click on manage access, and it shows here on the right that link was given access to share it. Shared, anyone can view it with this link. Robert Kratzke has direct access. I'm the owner. If there was anybody else I shared it with, I could click on them and delete them, so then it's not shared anymore. Or this link that I shared, I think I can delete the link still here and set an expiration date or discard it, get rid of the link. So now anybody with the link wouldn't access, it wouldn't work for them anymore.
What I like for this also is the fact that if you're a job seeker and you're sending it out as a link, that is to a specific individual, not a portal system, obviously, then it also keeps track of who you sent what to. So if you had to go back and see which resume did I send to ABC company, it's all tracked.
Yep, and you can have it notify you too when somebody opens the document.
Love it.
You can be notified when somebody accesses, opens things. So you can set different things on here.
And I guess you could change it also for the, oops, I forgot to add. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. You forgot to add something to your resume, or you want to change, you send it to them, but you know what? You can still change it.
Yeah.
Because if you send a link, you still have control, because they're going to see what is live when they open it.
Right.
So if you make some edits to it, it's going to be edited and changed, for
That
them.
is very cool. Good point.
Not that Marie would ever let anybody send a resume with an, oops, I forgot to add, but
yeah.
Just in case.
But it happens. It does. Yeah. Things do happen. Also, you see here along the left here, these are all some of my different teams. So from OneDrive, I also have access to the files in my different teams. Right, so I don't have to go to Teams to get to my team's files. I can get to it right from here.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Now getting back to the computer and saving things on your computer, right? So I'm in OneDrive here now, right? I'm in my files. If you look on the top here, right? New, I could add something new right here. Add a new folder, open up a new Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Forms, right? These, I don't have to go to Word to start a Word document. I just click right here and start a new document, right? I could upload something to OneDrive from here. I could also.
So that would be information like from the C drive.
Okay. So this is my file explorer right here, my files from the computer. I could take something and drag it right into OneDrive and drop it in.
And into a specific folder or
folder.
Yeah.
You'll copy. See, it says right there, copy. It's going to copy this and put it in that folder. Okay. So you can drag and drop things right from here, from your list.
Very easy.
Okay. Now, the other thing here where it says sync, okay, this means you can sync OneDrive to your computer. What that means is that, see here we have Flow Solutions, RJ, Sugar, EC Info, okay? If I go along here to find, if I find my OneDrive folder here, OneDrive GlobeNet, 11 Flow Solutions, RJ, Sugar, EC Info. This is synced to here. So I don't have to go to OneDrive to get to OneDrive. I can go right to the little folder on the bottom of my computer.
Yep.
And go search through my OneDrive right here, and everything is listed. I click on Flow Solutions here. There's everything that's in that folder. I click on it over here. There's everything in the folder. See, they match exactly.
I love that feature, and I will tell you that everything is backed up on my computer. Every single thing, and it shows a little round circle with a little green check mark, and I'm so excited every day.
So now, if you look here at my OneDrive and these Flow Solutions here, right, here's all the things listed here. Now, if I look here, see the status, the cloud or green?
Mhm.
Cloud means that it's only up on the cloud, right? I have a listing of it here on my computer, but all the content isn't saved on my computer. So think about if you got 8,000 pictures, right? They don't all have to be on your computer. If you have it saved to the cloud only, all your pictures will show up here. You can still access them and pick them and choose them from here, but they're not actually stored here. It's just the link to it. And then when you click on it, this flow test, when I click on it, it's going to open up that document. It's going to grab it off the web and open it. When it has a green dot, that means it is actually saved to my computer. And the reason you might want that is that, just say you're going to do a presentation somewhere. Are you sure that they're going to have internet access? Because to get something on the cloud, you need internet access. Okay, so if you save it to your computer also, it will make that way you'll always have it, right? Or if you're going to go on a plane, you're going to fly somewhere, you want to do work on the plane, you want to make sure you have a copy on your computer. And the way you do this is, again, when you go to any of these documents, you right click on it, and it's, see where it says share, view online. So if I clicked on view online, it's going to make it online only. Or always keep on this device. So if I click always keep on this device, you're going to see that it's changing to green. It just sunk it up and copied it on my computer. If I want to free up space and I don't need it on my computer, I could actually even go to the whole folder. Right click on the folder here. View online. Oh, I should have viewed it online. I didn't click the wrong thing. Do not do that. I want to do free up space. And you see everything changed here to a cloud. So now none of these things are saved on my computer. They're really only saved online, but the copy, the link to it all is here.
Okay, so I've got stuff
No.
that's on my computer.
Don't stop.
To move it to the cloud, I need to move it to OneDrive.
Well, yeah, yes, but here's how you can move it to OneDrive. Okay, so let me open up something else, different folder. My pictures here. Okay.
And my pictures.
It's got pictures. I want to save this open for business to OneDrive. Okay. So I don't have to go to OneDrive. All I have to do is go to my OneDrive folder right here.
Yeah.
And I can drag it right to the, right there. Now, open for business, it's in OneDrive.
Or create another folder and drag it all into that.
Right. So, or again, I can now drag it back, put it back in my pictures. Move to pictures, move to pictures. Now it's not in OneDrive anymore, now it's only in my pictures file.
And we don't have to worry about space, data storage, any of that stuff?
Most likely not. I mean, you get like with, I think you get a terabyte with Office 365 now. With a business version, a home version, I don't think it's that much, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And to get another 100 gigabytes of something is like $1.99. So it's real, the cost of the storage is very, very small now.
Right.
And you probably have enough, if you have an Office 365 paid subscription, you probably have enough for what you need. You know, if you do a lot of video, you do a lot of things, or you got a marketing company, you've got all kinds of video and things like that, you may need more storage somewhere, you know, or to save it all offline or something else. But there's a lot of storage here.
Mostly not.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys, it's 9
So-
o'clock. Any questions that you might have?
Yeah, can you repeat yourself?
I said it twice.
Not you, Robert.
Oh, Robert, I'm sorry.
it's like,
All of it?
no, it's like
No,
so many
if-
things. Pick and choose a few
If
things. that are
anybody's
exciting.
interested in getting a trial of the business version that has the extra business tools and some of the automation tools, we didn't see the automation, but I'll give you a 30-second explanation on the automation tool. So if I have a survey, like SurveyMonkey survey, and if somebody fills that survey online, or if you fill out something, typically now if you go to a website and you fill out some information, your name, the email address, you typically you'll get an email back, right? But what this workflow does is not only is that can send an email back, it could also post something in Teams. It could take all the information and fill it into a spreadsheet. It could take all the information and put it into your CRM system. It could add the name and email address and put it onto your MailChimp mailing list or into Constant Contact. It could send a message to somebody to do something, and follow up with this customer. It could send them an email a week later. It could put it on a to-do list. You can do all kinds of activity, all types of things you could create with these workflows, right? From an Excel file, you could, select any row in a file and kick off a workflow that would take out all the appropriate fields, send emails, update spreadsheets, fill in a contract, do all different kinds of things that you can automate these things right through Microsoft Office. All these tools are built in to do it. Approval workflows. So send something to a manager for approval. It will automatically go to the right manager. It'll automatically go to your manager, maybe, right? And then when the manager approves it, it automatically gets sent to payroll to cut your expense check. It'll automatically send a message to IT to order the computer for you, or go to HR to give people time off, or whatever. All these things can be set up to be done automatically with these workflow tools, which are free and built into the business version of Office. So again, if anybody wants to get a trial of it, if you send a message to Maria, I can get you set up on a trial for the account for free. And that'll give you all the tools, all the applications, all the teams, all the meetings, everything that's there.
That's very cool.
And you can get it for your whole company, everybody. There's no limit. You can set it for as many people if you want, one person or a whole company.
Maggie's question was, will the recording be sent out to attendees for us to reference in the future? Actually, these workshops are put on the Port Washington Library's YouTube page, so you can find them there.
And you access the YouTube page by going onto our home page, our web page. The YouTube channel there's a link to our YouTube channel from our web page, which I'll type into the chat. And the other thing I was thinking of is, this was Microsoft Teams basics, but we could down the road do a more advanced Microsoft Teams workshop if people are, needing that. That's certainly a possibility.
And we could set it up so everybody would access Teams. We could set up a team for everybody to be in. Everybody could actually do it and use it and try it. And so we set up a test environment.
That sounds like a good idea, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Flow would be interesting too if we could play around with that. So stuff like that.
Flow is phenomenal. It's unbelievable. It's the best thing out there. There's so many things you can do. It's made, in my life, in my business, made a huge impact. Just building out a couple of little workflows to get done things, things that you do over and over repetitively and take a lot of time. I took things that took hours to do, and now they're done in 5 seconds. It's amazing, again, and it was built out in a half hour. I turned something that took hours and hours or didn't get done at all and got it done, in 30 minutes. It's done now forever, every 5 seconds every time.
I love the simplification of being able to have just different compartments for different things and then be updated and everybody be aware, and you don't have to worry about
again, a lot of people here are in the job hunting mode and stuff, right? And This is a tool that most companies do not know exists. They know Teams is here. They have Office, but most of them do not know about the automation tools, right? And if you can go into a job interview and start talking about how you can help them do things better and faster and take advantage of these things, and that you're talking about things that nobody else can do. Because not that it's not hard, it's just people don't know they're there. It's an amazing tool that most people don't know. And every department, every place you work, everybody can use it. And most companies have Office 365 now. So they have the tool, they already own it. It doesn't cost them anything, but you can go in and use it and make whatever your job is, whatever things you're doing, make happen much better, much more efficiently if you know how to use these tools.
That's great.
Robert, can I ask you, is there a, for Flow, is there any kind of good document that you would recommend to get started? Because I'm actually really interested.
Just go on YouTube and search for Flow.
Okay. Yep.
It's called Power Automate. They recently changed the name of it.
Ah, that's why.
It's called Power Automate.
Okay.
And even if you go to office.com too, there's all kinds of tutorials. And if you click on Power Automate, so if you, like I said, you can set you up a free trial for everything. And when you go to Power Automate, and you go to that, it's basically, it's all on the web, it's Power Automate. It's not an application that's on your computer. It's just on the web. And there's all these templates. Templates are things that are already, workflows that people already built out. And you'll see there's hundreds and hundreds of them that do many different things. Request manager approval for a selected item. And it goes through all different things it does.
Could you spell that, Robert, could you spell that for us, please? Robert?
Yeah.
Could you spell that for Power Automate?
Yep.
Could you spell that?
We can't hear him, I don't think.
Did you get that, Maria?
It's Power, like Power, Power, and then Automate, Automate. See, it's up here. Can you see the screen?
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat. There you go.
Thank you. I thought so.
No problem.
Did we lose you, Rob?
Yeah, he's talking.
Maybe that's his way of leaving.
No, I don't think so.
He's here. He's going at it.
Maria, do you think we
here.
should just end, or?
Yeah, now you're breaking up too. Okay.
Should we end? I don't think he realizes that we can't hear him.
Yep, I actually put his email in there, guys. So if you have any questions or if you needed to reach out to me for any reason, I'll put my email address in there as well. And hopefully we answered a lot of questions about Microsoft Teams. I know that we are definitely going to be utilizing this a lot more. It's just so much better. It really is so much better. It's easier. I think that our board is going to have a great time with this too.
Yep.
And then for those of you that are, job seeking, definitely, keep this at the front of your mind, because not everyone is using Zoom. Not everyone is using Skype anymore. This is definitely a game changer. And I don't know if you've seen any of their commercials. You have some of the biggest pharmaceutical companies, and what was it? It wasn't, it's L'Oreal using it. I mean,
I went on mute.
Massive organizations are utilizing this. So that's really something. It speaks to the volume of what this can actually do.
Yeah. So again, the Teams is being used all over the place with companies. More and more going to it. And again, knowing that you can customize it and add these different applications to it very easily. If you can know how to do that, you can become very valuable. And again, if you learn how to do a couple of really basic flows, you can see how to do these. You can bring immediate impact to wherever you go to work.
That's awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. Any other questions before we close the meeting?
That was excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And definitely keep an eye on the Port Washington Library I guess the website and all the different workshops that they're doing. Okay.
Just as long as you remember that there's some type of career and or finance workshop scheduled every single Monday night at 7 o'clock now through mid-October. Most of these do not require registration. The only ones that do require registration are the career strategies drop-in, but everything else is just the Zoom username and password, the ID password and the ID. And every Monday night at 7, there's always something going on through our library on Zoom with regards to career and or finance.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good evening.
Thank you, Maria.
Happy hunting.
Thank you, Robert.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.